Oskaloosa Indians basketball action is on the air.
Brought to you by Mahaska, Bank Iowa, Clow Valve Company, Kelly Style Insurance, Oskaloosa Area Chamber, Petrito Orthodontics, Hawkeye Real Estate, Swim Sports, Awards and Screen Printing, Raymond James Financial Services, William Penn University, Fairway, Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, Roxfort's Decorating Center, Pella Printing, Penn Central Mall, Oskaloosa Vision Center, Robert Auld Investments, and Mahaska Drug. And now, live Oskaloosa basketball action
On the No Coast Network.
And welcome in. We are live from the Oskaloosa High School Gymnasium. Emery Songer with you and the Oskaloosa Indians on what we will be celebrating senior night this evening as they are taking on the Little Dutch and Lady Dutch of Pella High School. As mentioned, my name is Emery Songer, and with the help of the Oskaloosa Video Production Department here at the Oskaloosa High School, as well as our director, Titus Letstring, we're going to give you all the action of a girls and boys doubleheader in Little Hawkeye Conference play. The last conference doubleheader of the season that will occur in this gym this year. Oskaloosa's girls will have one more game against Indianola as part of a doubleheader to wrap up the season on the road on Friday. And, of course, the Oskaloosa boys with that doubleheader, they'll play one more game in this gym against Sheraton to wrap up the regular season next Tuesday. With the season coming to a close, both teams have the postseason in mind, including the Oskaloosa girls. Although they have not won a game this season at 0-19, they are still going to be looking to try to get themselves lined up for what could be an upset victory against an Knoxville team they competed with in the first matchup between the two teams this season. On the other side, the Oskaloosa boys are awaiting the official bracket of their sub-state, but they know they got a good sub-state. They know they're going to be the number one seed, and they're going to be looking to try to get themselves to the state tournament for the first time in 22 years. We'll go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we'll get you set for the girls' game, as that's going to be the first thing up when we return right after this. It is Oskaloosa basketball right here on the No Coast Network.
Dreams start early, illustrated straight from the heart. Big or small, dreams take hard work to grow into reality. To bring your dreams to life, sometimes you need a little help. So surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams and count on Bank Iowa to help you reach them. Bank Iowa, for the dreamer in all of us.
Look at that mouth. That poor, parched mouth. What'd you eat for lunch? Chalk dust? Did your face storm a sandcastle? You're being awfully quiet. Is that because your mouth feels like the business end of a Dremel saw? Is it because your mouth just wrote a haiku and all 17 syllables were dry heaves? Right now, your mouth could be tongue bathing in the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Instead, it feels like you've been motorboating King Tut's sarcophagus. Show some mercy. Crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know your mouth wants you to. Do the do.
Main Street Oskaloosa is dedicated to giving our community the downtown they want and deserve. We bring vibrant community events like Art on the Square, Christmas in July, and the Lighted Christmas Parade to downtown Oskaloosa. We believe in the unique value of our district and work to support business here. Our city's history is important, and it drives our efforts in the revitalization and preservation of downtown. In 2017, we received the Signature Project Award for our inspiring and innovative placemaking efforts. Our goal is a downtown Oskaloosa can be proud of. For more information, contact Emily Brown at 641-672-2591.
We love to help people with their smiles. Petrito Orthodontics of Ottumwa and Oskaloosa is all about creating beautiful smiles and increased self-esteem that lasts a lifetime. We specialize in creating individualized smiles by committing to make each visit a memorable experience. Our office is equipped with state-of-the-art technology to ensure optimum results. For help with your smile, call Petrito Orthodontics.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today. Swim Sports is once again open in Oskaloosa. This is Doug DeCock, the new owner of Swims. Along with Doug Swim, we are happy to be open again. Swims has a wide variety of trophies, plaques, and engraving available to Oskaloosa and the surrounding areas. We have an assortment of uniforms, socks, and belts, along with other sporting goods at the store. Swim Sports also provides a full screen printing facility for your screen printing needs. Come check out the new store at 118 A Avenue East in Oskaloosa. The two Dougs would love to see you at Swim Sports.
Back here, we are live. Oskaloosa getting set to take on the Lady Dutch of Pella in a girls basketball game, which will lead off our doubleheader. And we are celebrating senior night, so we will celebrate in between the two games this evening. The senior girls and it's actually just one in Kinsey Cook, the senior boys basketball team, and also senior cheerleaders for Oskaloosa, as this is the last time these two teams will play on the same night in this gym this season. We're going to focus on the girls right now, as the Indians, we talk about it, 0-19 this season. That's not something that obviously they were hoping to accomplish, but plenty of youth and plenty of experience have come along with that. It's easy for a lot of people out there to say, you know, if this team is getting better, then why aren't we seeing better scores, better results? Well, basketball is a difficult sport. Other teams are improving as well. A lot of people at the beginning of the season probably felt Oskaloosa could find a way to challenge Norwalk, potentially beat Norwalk, and unfortunately that just hasn't been the case for Oskaloosa, considering the fact that Norwalk has a couple of athletes in Shea Campbell and Miranda Hughes, and even Bryn Moritz, who's just a freshman. They are superior athletes in this conference. For a lot of schools, one of those players would mean an awful lot. Oskaloosa is trying to develop those kind of players for themselves this season, and that's why Norwalk has made some strides. They actually upset this Pella team less than a week ago. Actually, it was a week ago tonight that they defeated Pella on the road 50-48 in what was a shocking result. But Norwalk has been competitive throughout this conference, and that hasn't changed. And although Oskaloosa does have a Pella team on deck here tonight, people can't just look at the opposition and think that you did better the first time around. These teams have looked very different, and the fact that Norwalk has Miranda Hughes fully healthy, that has definitely made a difference. As the Oskaloosa girls continue to warm up, we're going to tell you a lot about what they have going for them as well this season. Coach J.C. White has done an excellent job, in my opinion, of what she's taken a lot of girls that have zero varsity experience and has allowed them to be competitive at a certain level. When I'm looking at this Oskaloosa team, the first thing that I notice is obviously the youth. The fact that Kinsey Cook being the only senior, everybody else will be back for this team. Coach White has gotten these girls very enthusiastic about basketball. It's a matter of working hard, continuing to develop in the offseason, because that's when the real growth has to happen. It is not easy on a game-to-game basis to try to make some adjustments, learn new skills, and try to implement them in your game throughout a season in which you're playing 2 or 3 times a week, specifically in a conference that in girls basketball is as deep and as talented as this little Hawkeye conference is this year, with teams like Dallas Center Grimes, Pella, Indianola, Pella Christian, Grinnell. I mean, these teams have all been dancing around the rankings all season long, and that is not going to change from a year-to-year basis. You're going to have some of the best competition in the state as possible. But Marley Denberger, she is continuing to be the leading scorer for the Indians, over 8 points per game. The Indians are going to be looking for more offense from their players. That's one thing that they could definitely work on and improve going into next season. But they still have these 2 games and at least one postseason game against Knoxville next week. They're going to be looking to try to pull an upset, get themselves a victory, get in the win column, and say that they were able to get themselves a victory this season. We'll go ahead and we'll take one more break. When we come back, we will talk a little bit more about these two teams and how they stack up, as Pella comes in as a pretty hefty favorite. But also, we're going to give you the starting lineups. We'll give you the national anthem and the opening tip-off. Oskaloosa girls getting set to take on Pella after this on the No Coast Network.
The student community at William Penn made an impression on me. It's a real statement that you can come here and be part of something real.
You have the opportunity to participate in activities.
The coaches are awesome. It's easy to play for coaches that care about you.
The real experiences at Penn have helped shape who I'm going to be when I graduate. I work harder because I want to be part of the conversation in class.
I am a leader.
I am a trailblazer.
I'm proud to be a statesman.
At Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, we're proud to keep the Oskaloosa Indians and their fans safe and feeling good on and off the field. Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy is the expert in injury care, orthopedics, and sports rehab, with a new facility in Oskaloosa, complete with an open gym area in addition to several private treatment rooms. If pain is bugging you, Come see the experts at Kinetic Edge for a free injury screen. Find out more, including why the Oskaloosa Indians trust Kinetic Edge at kineticedgept.com.
Kevin, meet your father.
Kevin.
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 Trusted advice for life.
Kevin, how's your mom?
Thank you. Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
If you are looking for brand names close to home, then look no further than Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Penn Central Mall has a wide variety of stores for people of all ages. Find the perfect pair of silver or Vigas jeans at Maurice's, get a pair of Oakley sunglasses from the smiling staff at Eye Care Partners, cozy up with Ashley Furniture from Gilworth Furniture, and find that dazzling diamond from Gardner Collier Jewelry. When you're done, grab a bite to eat at Miranchito or the Pizza Ranch. It's all at Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. Shop, walk, and enjoy Penn Central Mall.
At Clow Valve Company, being the premier place to work is part of our core vision, and this includes helping our local community be a premier place to live. Clow cares and is committed to creating a happier and healthier community. By volunteering in local events and fundraisers. By donating to nonprofit organizations. By leaving a better tomorrow than today. Clow is more.
We are Clow Valve.
Lighton State Bank understands that everyone's financial needs and goals are different. That's why it's essential for you to bank with a local bank that knows you personally and professionally. Lighton State Bank is that bank. They understand your financial situation and work diligently to help you reach your financial goals. They're committed to working with you and for you every step of the way. Lighton State Bank, serving you from Lighton, Pella, and Monroe. Grow strong with us, member FDIC.
Welcome back. We have Oskaloosa basketball as you take a look on MCG Channel 7 as well as RadioKMZN.com and the lone Oskaloosa senior basketball player, Kinsey Cook. Kinsey, an outstanding student, a phenomenal musician, and she has been a part of this basketball team, showing some senior leadership, and she's going to get rewarded as a starter for the Indians, and we'll talk about that momentarily. But first, we've got to give a lot of credit to Coach J.C. White and these girls for sticking through this. The JV girls continuing to try to develop. Coach White trying to manage those JV numbers of quarters, the time at the JV level and the varsity level for the players as they look to try to continue their improvement. But I can tell you this, more than anything, you want your players to have plenty of fun while they're playing. And it looks as though while the scoring has been tough, while the games have not been in their favor result-wise, I can tell you that for the most part, it looks like these girls are working hard, having fun, and are looking to try to get themselves set up appropriately for the future with this girls basketball team. Now let's take a listen in to our national anthem. We're getting ready for basketball, and the starting lineups are about to be announced for both the Pella Lady Dutch and the Oskaloosa Indian Girls. We thank you for joining us. First and foremost, we have to thank the Oskaloosa Video Production Program here at OHS under the direction of Kim Guile for helping us out. Their students have been phenomenal with us this season, and we are having fun doing this as well. Let's go ahead and show you the starters. First for Pella, the first starter being introduced is Grace Held, a 5'6 junior. The 5'8 senior Carol Wickert is the second. She is going to be followed up by Erica Bossard, the 5'9 senior, number 24. Finally, Behind her, the two players that we'll see kind of up front, Chloe Van Vliet, the 5'8 senior, and then finally the tall 6'1 junior, Emily Holterhouse, all-state volleyball player. Certainly an all-stater every sense of the word in volleyball. She certainly has made plenty of improvements in basketball as well, leading the team with 17 points a game. For Oskaloosa, their first starter, Mary Nelson, being introduced. Mary is a 5'7 sophomore, sharpshooter from outside the arc. Lindsay Holmberg, the 5'5 junior, is going to be working in the backcourt for the Indians. Emma Kelderman making plenty of strides this season after sitting out a couple of years without playing basketball. Marley Denberger, the leading scorer for the Indians, a 5'10" junior. And then the senior, good to see this. Kenzie Cook getting rewarded for her hard work, her great leadership, getting introduced as the 5th starter for the Oskaloosa Indians. Indians wearing white uniforms trimmed in maroon, or Indians rather, in black lettering across the chest, maroon numbers on the front and the back. They'll shoot at a right hoop here in the first and second quarters. For Pella, Coach Jared Garland, his ladies going to be wearing green, at forest green, trimmed in white. They have gray stripes down the side, white Lady Dutch across the chest. They have the white numbers on the front and the back. They will be shooting on a left hoop in the first half. On Wisconsin, the fight song for Oskaloosa High School gets wrapped up, and we are getting set to go for basketball here from the Oskaloosa High School Gymnasium. Oskaloosa enters 0-19 overall, 0-12 in the Little Hawkeye, knowing they're a big underdog against a Pella team that currently sits at 12-7 overall, 6-6 in the Little Hawkeye, and they bounce back with a nice 61-34 win over Newton on the road on Friday after losing last Tuesday at home against Norwalk. The tip is won by Holterhouse, the big 6'1 player. We'll see what she can bring as the Lady Dutch have the ball to start things off here for us here in Oskaloosa. Van Vliet over to Held. Held swings it over into the left corner. They go down to Bossert on the baseline. Get it into the middle. Nice catch by Holterhouse, and she's able to finish. That's a good look underneath by Erica Bossert. Full court pressure, as Oskaloosa has been accustomed to seeing all season long. Holmberg gets it near into the front court, gets it, but she had her hand out of bounds as she picked the ball back up here on this near side. And it goes back to Pella on the first turnover of the game. Oskaloosa, one thing that I think is going to immediately cure some of the woes we've seen offensively for the Indians in scoring the ball is just developing a ball handler, somebody that they can rely on to dribble the ball, be careful with the ball, and set up the offense. As Holterhouse has her pass poked away from behind by Holmberg, right into the lap of Kenzie Cook, and Oskaloosa will get it in the front court for their first true possession here in this game. Holmberg dribbles it to the left. Denberger on the post. They go to the top. This is Nelson. Nelson trying to thread the needle down to Denberger, was poked away by Holterhouse, and here come the Lady Dutch once again, and it's held a little short. She gets it back, puts it back up, misses, but eventually it's Holterhouse who gets it, puts it back up and in. So Held just could not finish inside. Here's Kelderman. She's going to get a little run out. They're trying to trap in the corner. They will get a foul. I believe that's going to be on Held from behind, trying to help on the trap. They want you they're trying to funnel you to the sidelines because they'll use that sideline as an added defender and make it really difficult for you to pass the ball back into the interior of the floor. Denberger off the foul call, loses the handle, dives on the floor, picks it up, nowhere to go with it, trying to get it to Kelderman. They're going to call a jump ball, and it will stay with Oskaloosa. But the Indians right now, you can just see that this pressure really pesters them, really bothers them. And that's something that they're going to look to try to fix going into next year. Is Cook to the high post. This is Denberger. She'll step back, working on the taller Holterhouse, gets in the paint off 1 foot, and they're going to call her for traveling. That's a tough call on Marley, as it looked like she was trying to plant that right foot, but it may have just moved a little bit, in which case that is the proper call. Three turnovers on 3 possessions for the Indians, just a minute and a half into this first quarter. It's 4-0 Pella. Little Lady Dutch ball. That pass intended for Holterhouse underneath, tipped off of her knee, and on the floor, Denberger with Bossard. Get a held ball, and it will stay with the Lady Dutch. A lot of jump balls. Entry pass finds Van Vliet. Tough finish with the left hand. Another great pass by Kara Wickert. And Van Vliet able to do it with the left hand. Kelderman tried to lob it into the front court, but it was chased down by Erica Bossard before anybody in the Indian jersey could figure it out. Held. She wants to go baseline, runs out of room, but finds Wickert for an open left corner mid-ranger. That's missed. A long rebound, Kelderman. She's got it. Gets it ahead to Holmberg. Holmberg rejected by Pella's Emily Holterhouse. Just flew down the entire length of the floor with those long strides. Able to catch up to the Oskaloosa fast break, and Holmberg had her shot obliterated out of bounds. 6-0 our score, with Oskaloosa trailing by 6. Just under 6 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Here's Cook, step back, little mid-ranger, can't get the finish. Holterhouse another rebound. Van Vliet hustles it ahead for Pella, gets it into the corner, and the pass from Wickert was knocked away, but before Oskaloosa could control it, Wickert gets it back. Oskaloosa's got to capitalize when they have an ability to try to get turnovers as well. The Indians defensively trying to stymie the Lady Dutch, but a mid-range shot by Bossert in the short corner on the right side makes it 8-0, and Coach J.C. White wants to call a timeout. It's a 30. We'll take a quick break, be back with more. 5.5 to go first quarter, all Pella on the No Coast Network.
Providing high-quality professional eye care with a truly caring staff is what Oskaloosa Vision Center has been doing for more than 30 years. With our state-of-the-art equipment, we can provide comprehensive eye exams, prescription glasses, and contact lenses, as well as medical care like eye infection and disease treatment, emergency eye care, and pre- and post-operative aid. Newborn to adult, we have the experience to meet all your eye care needs. Oskaloosa Vision Center. Come see us today.
Pella 8-0 to start this game, 5:28 to go in the first quarter. Oskaloosa having trouble with the pressure, and they've also had a hard time in just generating shots as Denberger throws it right to Holterhouse and she lays it in. That's just, it should not happen. And then another steal by Holterhouse. She's fouled and lays it in again. Oh, geez. This is hard to watch, especially knowing what these girls that we've seen from Oskaloosa are capable of. As Ashley Drops comes in and has a couple of poor passes from Denberger lead to easy lay-ins, and Lynn Marley commits the foul underneath. First team foul on Oskaloosa, but I mean, within 8 seconds out of the timeout, Holterhouse gets 5 points on 2 steals, 2 layups, and an and one. Here's Holmberg rather, lobs it, caught by Nelson, and then she throws it right to Bossard, gets a steal, and then Holterhouse can't finish, gets it back, fouled again. This is basketball. It's a competitive sport. At any possible situation for Oskaloosa's Holterhouse's first free throw is nothing but net. A pretty looking stroke. She's already got 10 here in the first 3 minutes. But honestly, for the Indians, as Denberger comes back to replace Cook, it's one of those things that we've seen the improvement as Holterhouse makes both. The improvement has been there. It's just a matter of trying to go out here and figure it out to an extent to where you can be competitive against these teams. And we see some things that work as Kellerman gets it, press break. It's 2-on-1 with Dross. Dross gets by Van Vliet. She recovered nicely, but it's Holmberg who gets the offensive rebound and is able to lay it in for Oskaloosa's first 2. It's 15-2, Pella with the lead here with 4:50 to go in the first. But for Oskaloosa, it's all about just trying to ball control. Ball security is held, mid-range missed. Denberger in traffic gets the rebound and then throws it right to Grace Helt. Just no real sense of where the defense is as the mid-range shot by Bossard is hit on a pass from Helt. Bossard with 4, and then they throw it again right to Holterhouse. She gets a steal, gets a rebound on a miss, and lays it in. It's something else. Got to find a way to try to get through this Jared Garland press, which has been just pesky. Let's say it that way. 19-2, 4 minutes in. Oh, my goodness. Here's Dross. Nice up fake, but she couldn't do anything with it. Gets it out to Denberger. Denberger tries to lob it to the post and then throws it away. So 10 turnovers for Oskaloosa, and we are 4 minutes and 3 seconds into this first quarter. It's ugly, ugly basketball, folks. The girls trying. The effort is certainly there. But execution eventually is going to have to take precedence as Denberger comes out, replaced by Jillian Jennings, who I was told is available for 3 quarters after 3 quarters of action in the JV game. You can only play 6 quarters in a game. And then Van Vliet throws this away, looking for the seal with Holterhouse. A couple of new players came into the game, by the way, for Pella. Caroline Bradley, a junior at 5'9". And also into the game. We'll get to that. As Drost gets it in, Nelson picked up by Wickert. Back to Drost. Drost uses the dribble. Over to Nelson. Nelson tries to split the defense. Holterhouse got a hand on the ball, but couldn't do anything with it on the steal. Drost tries to get it to Jennings, knocks it away, and eventually Caroline Bradley comes out of there with it. Bradley will settle it down. Gets it over to the other new player that just came in, Ellie Carney, a junior guard, and there's going to be a jump ball as Drost does a good job of forcing the jump with Bradley underneath. It's Oskaloosa ball on the jump. Kaylee Johnson will come in. She is going to replace Lindsay Holmberg. Coach J.C. Weiss just looking for any kind of consistency, so and to be able to maintain the ball, possession of the ball would be nice. 3:22 to go in just the first quarter, down 19-2, and they've already committed 11 turnovers. Kelderman inbounds it, nice one-hand catch by Johnson. Johnson will push it ahead by herself, but is going to be trapped, has to do something with it, nowhere to go with it. Tries to find somebody open, eventually finds Drost, who is wide open underneath, and then she is fouled on the drive by recovering Ellie Carney. They have so many players trying to take away passing lanes that if Johnson and other Oskaloosa players can find a way to locate that open player, that's going to help an awful lot moving into the future. As Ashley Drost goes to the line to shoot a couple, where this season it's been just 27% for her. It hasn't been a good go, but she does make the first. Ashley is one of those elbow grease players. A player that you have in the game and you just know that she's going to be going after every loose ball, every 50-50 ball. She's not going to, you don't have to question her motor at all. Second free throw on the way from Drost. And nothing but net. Good to see from Ashley Drost. She's going to be a player that can help catapult this team into relevance moving forward. And she'll be a senior next season. As Holterhouse, nice high-low with Van Vliet. Little spin move too far underneath the rim. Rebounded by Drost. Hasn't been very many of those possessions where Pella's come up empty as Johnson dribbles, picks up the dribble, and then eventually gets it over to Drost. Kelderman top of the key. 19-4, Oski down by 15, 2:45 to go. And they're going to get Johnson for a little offensive foul, pushing off with the offhand. So Johnson gets her first, the team's third foul. Another group substitution as Wickert, Van Vliet, and Holterhouse come out. So the entire second unit for Pella in. That includes Neg Madison, a 5'9" freshman, just entered the game. Grace Held back in. So I lied, it's not an entire second unit. Grace Held and Erica Bossert are both in for the Lady Dutch. Madison Neg, who is a... And then Carney can't quite finish it, but underneath, Madison able to get the rebound. And then the ball lost out of bounds. It will go back to Oskaloosa. So Madison Neg, my mistake, the 5'9" freshman who's back into the game for Pella as they continue to run some full court pressure. Kelderman gets it in to Johnson. 2:20 to go here in the first quarter. Oski trailing 19-4. Johnson throws it at the feet of Kelderman, but she's able to corral it. Here's Jennings. Jennings, a little hook, and she's able to get it to go. Jillian Jennings, she does get a little one-dimensional when she gets the ball down low, where she's looking really only as that ball goes through the hands of Drost. Ball lost. Got away with a traveling violation there, but Nelson's going to end up coming out of there with a steal. Nelson goes all the way. Tough righty lane is good. Some life here for the Indians. They're on a little run of their own at 19-8 with 1:45 to go here in the first quarter, and this is good to see. Got to keep that energy level up. Bossard left alone in the left corner, fires the three. It's short. Drost the rebound for the Indians, and she'll lob it over to Kelderman, who will bring it up. The Indians look to just try to get something going here. Johnson over to the right corner. This is a look down low, looking for Jennings. Jennings bounced it into the corner, catch and shoot. Nelson around and out, missed. Held, tips the rebound out to herself, and now she's on the run. She's going to go all the way. Nelson does a good job of challenging her at the rim. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Pella. It was a good job. Kaylee Johnson was also in the vicinity, but one thing with Kaylee is just attacking the basketball. When it's loose on the floor, go after it. A couple of substitutions into the game. It is Holmberg and Kenzie Cook back into the game for the Indians, replacing Nelson and Johnson. So with 1:13 left first quarter, it's 19-8, 11-point lead. And Holterhouse right back in for Pella. She gets trapped, throws it away. So Pella looking sloppy here the last couple of minutes, while the Indians have found a way to get something going here. Let's see if they can get something on this trip. You got Jennings, and Megan Mormon also is checked in. There's a pass by Kelderman, just trying to force it into traffic, and there's just no winning that. Held does a good job of saving that ball from going out of bounds and finds Holterhouse, who's got 15 first quarter points. Inside of a minute to go. It's 21-8, 13-point advantage. Another bad pass, this one from Holmberg, just lazily trying to get it into the lane for Jennings. Held's pass is tipped out of bounds by Kelderman. Again, good hustle by Oskaloosa in transition defensively, not allowing Pella to get a lot of easy looks. I mean, 6 or 8 of these points have come on Holterhouse just stealing an inbound pass right underneath the basket and going up and laying it in. And then a foul. They find Madison on the cut. Madison Naig. The foul was on Jennings, just late rotation there. As Drost is going to come in, as will Nelson, to replace Jennings. And Nelson also will come in and be replacing Megan Mormon. Megan Mormon is available all 4 quarters for the Indians. She only played a couple of JV quarters. Madison Naig's free throw is a swish. 4 for 4 in the game for the team. And Naig comes to the bench, replaced by Van Vliet. 24-8, back up to 16 points with 40 seconds to go here. Oskaloosa had a little spurt there, but Pella, again, generating turnovers. And there's another poor pass, this one from Nelson. There's going to be a jump ball as Kelderman gets on the deck, battling with Wicker. But eventually it's going to go to Pella via the jump ball and the possession arrow. Those don't count as turnovers. They might as well be turnovers. As it gives the ball back to Pella. Left wing, it is Wickert. Oskaloosa's defense has to find a way to neutralize this Pella offense. Nelson does just that, poking away that pass intended underneath for Holterhouse. Here is Kelderman over to Nelson. 10 seconds on the clock. Still got time. Cook faces up, tries to get it to Drost underneath. Knocked away. Here's Holmberg. There's still 5 on the clock. Holmberg bounces it over to Nelson. Back to Holmberg. Holmberg lobs it and is fouled with 0.3 of a second to go. And Coach Jared Garland and the coaching staff over there for Pella just kind of like, why are you fouling there? That's going to be a tough running shot by a player with a low field goal percentage. Holmberg just shoots at 18% from the floor. She'll get 2 free throws here on the season. She's just 30% and makes the first. This is a good night for Oskaloosa so far through 3 free throws. Low percentage players knocking down shots. Second one for Holmberg was short all the way, and that'll end the quarter. But Oskaloosa, you have to credit them for not just conceding defeat after giving up 13 quick points and turning the ball over 14 times in the first quarter. We'll take a short break and come back with the second quarter with Pella still leading Oskaloosa 24-9 here on the No Coast Network.
If you think there's room for improvement in your investment game plan, or that maybe you should send in some new plays, take a time out and talk to an experienced investment professional. I'm Bob Auld of Robert Auld Investments, an investment advisor with over 31 years of experience in Oskaloosa and Southern Iowa. Let me help you find some new strategies. Call 673-9448 or 1-800-444-AULD.
Robert Auld is a registered representative offering securities and investment advisory services through SagePoint Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC.
At Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, getting your prescription filled is easy. The large covered drive-thru and easy access to the front door is convenient, and the friendly staff is always ready to help you. With a variety of goods and home decor, Mahaska Drug is sure to have the perfect gift for any occasion. Have your favorite photos developed and framed at Mahaska Drug's framing counter, and cherish your memories for years to come. It's all at Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa, where they have been committed to a healthy community for over 20 years. Call 673-3439 or stop in today.
We head to the second quarter. Oskaloosa responded with a little spurt in the middle of that first quarter, but overall it was a sloppy quarter. They turned it over 14 times, gave up plenty of easy lay-ins and 15 points to Emily Holterhouse by herself, and Holterhouse gets her 5th steal as, again, Oskaloosa just throws it right to her. She'll go all the way and lay it in. She can run the floor. She is a big, very reminiscent of a player like Sienna Durr for Grinnell. You can do a little bit of everything. They have her at the top of this zone pressure defense, just trying to get turnovers as Holmberg catches, just fires a shot near the rim, draws a good offensive board, can't get it to go. Holmberg the rebound, and then they're going to call a foul on Denberger as she falls to the ground and takes Grace Held with her. So Holmberg and Drost both did a good job of crashing the glass and trying to get a putback up. And honestly, Coach White, I'm talking to the girls, even like Jillian Jennings, who we talk about, gets kind of in her head immediately when she catches the ball down there. I have to shoot this ball. When you get a look, put it up. It's way better than throwing the ball around and giving Pella plenty of opportunities. 15 turnovers already. Wickart underneath, finds Holterhouse off glass. She missed it, got it back. She's triple teamed, kicks it out to Van Vliet. Van Vliet doesn't get the friendly shooter's roll, and then there's going to be a foul underneath as Drost clears out the rebound by the Indians. Nelson, my mistake, Erica Bossard gets called for the foul. That is the 4th team foul on Pella. Also 2 fouls on Marley Denberger. She was called for that foul here in the backcourt. Here's Nelson, double teamed. Got to use your dribble here or find an open player. They find an open look for Denberger, who can't get the friendly roll again, but draws the offensive rebound and the putback. Ashley will go to work on the glass, and she is a hustle player. That's something that you like to see, even if your team is not winning games, to have competitive players. High-low with Holterhouse, finds Wickert, nowhere to go for her, but she finds a cutting Van Vliet, blocked by Drost, and then she gets the rebound. And then she throws it right to Van Vliet and lays it in. So many good things there. It just crushes you when they just give the ball right back and it leads to an open layup. 28-11, nearly another steal by Holterhouse. Denberger a little Euro step in traffic, fought through potentially a contact and missed the shot. Holterhouse comes out of there with the rebound, lobs it ahead, held, little Euro step off glass, lays it in. That was a lot of Grace Held just making something happen. Didn't seem like there was a lot there for her, but she was able to take a little sliver of space, step right around the Oski defense and get herself 2 points. 30-11. They try to go down low, and again, just Pella vulturing everywhere on the floor, waiting for a pass to be made and jumping on the passing lanes for Oskaloosa. They just have to be able to read that. Pella leads at 30-11, just inside of 6 minutes to play first half. Here's Denberger on the block, gets around Holterhouse and draws a foul. Marley goes to the line. She is a 72% free throw shooter. She's got great touch. She is a good basketball player. Just like to see as Holterhouse gets her first foul, 5th team foul on Pella. You just like to see her diving on the floor a little bit more as she makes the first free throw with a swish. That's her first point of the game. Amanda Fay comes in to replace Ashley Drost, and that's some good effort from Ashley Drost. She gave you 4 points and 6 rebounds with 1 block off the bench and went 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Second free throw is missed, but Kelderman goes up and gets the rebound. And then they're going to call her for a palm. All right. Some turnovers Coach White is going to be okay with. She wants the team to be aggressive turnovers. If you're committing a turnover, at least be looking for something aggressive. Do not be giving it up in the backcourt. Do not be, do not have palming violations. The stuff that comes with skill and confidence, that's something Oskaloosa has been trying to develop this season. Is Van Vliet off a pass from Held in the corner, misses the 3. Nelson gets the weak side rebound and gets it over to Kelderman, who will bring it up. Emma gets it over to Denberger. Denberger slices in. She is fouled, and she'll go back to the line, as I believe it's going to be Bossard who came across and just whacked her. I mean, if you fly at a player like that, like Bossard just did, and you do a full-arm swing, even if you get all ball, it's going to look like a foul all the way. As Denberger is short on the free throw, but it rolls in. She'll have one more coming as Bossard just picked up her second. She comes out. Caroline Bradley comes in. The Indians just looking for positives here. And Marley swishes the second. Not bad free throw shooting for Oskaloosa to this point in this game, 30-14. And of their points, 6 of them have come at the stripe. So 5:15 to go. Here's Bradley up and around the Fay defense, and then Denberger gets the block right to Nelson, who gets the rebound. Marley's done better in the block shots category as well. She has been routinely getting blocks as Marley picks up the ball, gets it over to the right wing, and Holmberg back to the top. Kelderman just inside the paint. Here is Denberger, not a lot of space, got to do something. Shoots it off her left, with her left hand off of her right foot. Kind of a weird looking shot, but was able to get it in. And now the other way, Fay rejects this shot, but it's pulled out of there by Bradley. To the outside, they find Bradley again. Thought about a shot, gets past Fay, and misses. Rebound, Kelderman. Oskaloosa finding ways to show signs of life. Pass bounced over to Denberger. She'll drive. A lot of contact, no foul call this time. Rebound, Bradley underneath, and Pella's going to bring it up. 4:20 to go here in the second as they find, oh, nice ball fake by Wickert. Misses the shot. Fay gets the positioning on the rebound and draws a foul. It's 30-16. Oskaloosa is down by 14 points, but the way they're playing outside of the first 3 or 4 minutes when they were just handing the ball to Pella in the backcourt, this is some encouraging stuff that you're seeing from the Indian girls. And it's going to be a 1-and-1 on this end for Amanda Fay. Fay does have good touch. Just 1 for 2, though, shooting free throws at the varsity level so far this season. That was the second foul whistled on Emily Holterhouse. Fay makes the first with a swish. And the second of a 1-and-1 will be coming as Nelson will come out, Kinsey Cook will come back in. I mean, if it wasn't for that big 13-0 run, that's the spurt to start the game for the Pella girls, this game could be competitive as Fay splits the free throws, misses the second. Caroline Bradley comes out of there with the rebound. Going the other way, Bradley left alone at top of the key, 3 on the way. Nothing but the bottom of the net off a pass from Carney. Bradley has range and showed it off right there. That is the first triple for Pella, despite several attempts. Oskaloosa's done a good job defensively as Kelderman's pass goes to the volleyball line where Dinberger probes to the right. 33-17, it's Pella by 16 with 3:45 to go. There's another pass tipped by Carney, and Bradley's going to just out-hustle everybody to go pick it up. Carney will get credit for the steal. Oskaloosa trying to get back defensively, and Van Vliet just lobs it into the Oski bench. Madison Nag comes in to replace Holterhouse, who's got 2 fouls, but still has 17 points, 15 in the first quarter. She also has 5 steals. Those long arms, Oskaloosa just has not been able to account for them. As Kelderman comes out, and it looks like we're going to get a timeout. Oskaloosa going to be looking to try to continue to play well, as we'll take a short break. 3.5 to go. First half, Pella leading by 16 over Oskaloosa here on the No Coast Network.
Can I get some help?
Whatever they went through together.
Welcome, guys.
Life well planned. See what a Raymond James financial advisor can do for you.
Experience and talent can take you far in the game of basketball, and the same is true for real estate. Hawkeye Real Estate in Oskaloosa has the largest pool of experienced real estate professionals ready to assist you through the home buying or selling process. Make the slam dunk choice and get the job done with an experienced and talented Hawkeye agent. See what the most experience can do for you. Call 641-673-MOVE or visit us at hawkeye-re.com. Proud sponsor of the Oskaloosa Indians' new Dunkometer.
Out of the timeout, Oski basketball trailing Pella 33-17, but have had some moments in this game where you think this isn't too bad. Oskaloosa is showing some competitiveness. Nice pass by Cook, finds Fay, but Fay just too far underneath the hoop, unable to get the finish. Carney gets the rebound. Pella's going to hustle ahead. They find Bradley on the run. Nice find by Chloe Van Vliet, and Caroline Bradley's got 5 off the bench. They've called off the full court pressure, obviously, which has helped Oskaloosa. But if you can get through that full court pressure, you can see Oskaloosa can play with a lot of the teams they play against. It's all about taking care of the basketball, and especially those poor turnovers that they've had against these good teams in the backcourt that have allowed direct, easy hoops. As Fay finds Cook, just too strong on that shot. Drost fighting for the rebound underneath. It'll be a jump ball, and it will go back to Pella. And as Bradley and Drost were battling for it underneath, and it will come back to Pella with Dinberger entering, replacing Drost, who continues to give you that elbow grease you love to see. And it's not going to be pretty. Oskaloosa knows that a lot of these teams are better than them at this point, more experienced. They have some really good athletes. And you just want to see your girls work hard. Ashley Drost does that every single game without question. Van Vliet into the corner to Carney. Back to Van Vliet. She'll bounce it as Wickert finds an open look for Bradley. Another 3, this one off the heel of the rim. Dinberger goes up and beats Carney on the rebound. Marley's first rebound of the game with 2:20 to go here in the first half. Marley's got it, top of the key, surveying, and she's just going to fire it from 3. She's got that range. Little too long this time, though, but eventually the ball pinballs right back to her, and she can't quite get the finish again. But Holmberg gets the rebound, blocked by Carney, and then the foul. So the Indians are working hard on the glass. There's no doubt about that. Especially on the offensive end, you see players just crashing the boards. It's just a matter of developing the skills necessary to be able to finish and score points which is what the only thing that this game is judged on is Moorman comes in, as does Kelderman, replacing both Holmberg and Cook. 2 minutes to go first half. It's 35-17. Pella with the basketball here as Holterhouse inside, kicks it out. Carney with Kelderman on a closeout, too strong, and Denberger with her fingertips able to corral the miss. On the other end, Nelson brings it up for Oski. Picked up by Wickert, and we'll bounce it back well outside the arc to Denberger. Denberger lobs it. There's a tough pass. Faye, it was a good pass. I will give Marley a lot of credit there. She saw what she wanted to do there. It was a good pass, but Amanda Faye, that young freshman, she's got pretty good hands, and she is pretty strong, even though she's long and lanky. That time she just couldn't quite reel in the pass, kind of like Tommy Brady in the Super Bowl. It's a little bit out of her reach. Here's Holterhouse outside the left wing, and they're going to swing it around to Carney in the right corner as Pella is trying to be a little bit more deliberate offensively. Madison Naig kicks it out. Here's Carney. She'll launch a three. That's a miss. Long rebound tipped out of bounds by Nelson. It was a good job by Wickert, just kind of staying with the play and not allowing Nelson a free run to try to grab the basketball. 35-17 still the score. Pella leading by 18. Oskaloosa's trimmed it to 11 a couple of times after really surrendering a really poor first 4 minutes of the contest. Wickert back out, setting her feet, and too long on the three, but the rebound, Holterhouse on the miss by Van Vliet. Van Vliet gets it back. She'll lob it. Nice one-hand catch by the freshman Naig. And then short corner jump shot from 18 missed. And then Carney comes out of nowhere, steals the rebound. The Indians got to find bodies underneath. They can't just allow these guards to be flying in there and collecting the boards. And then getting free throws or buckets out of it as Carney goes to the stripe. Where on the season she's just 48%. The foul was on Kelderman, her first. It's the first free throw missed by Carney. Dross checks in for Faye. Good minutes from Faye. Still working on some things. Wickert and Van Vliet come out, held, and Bossard back in. Carney's second on the way. High arcing shot. This one is on the way and right through. Kelderman with full court pressure again being shown for the last 48 seconds. Lobbed ahead. She was trying to throw Nelson open, but Nelson didn't run after the ball initially, just kind of threw her hands up, thinking that ball was too far for her. But she was throwing her open. If she sprinted toward that ball, she would have had it and probably would have had a layup on the other end. It was a good idea by Kelderman. Ball tipped, kicked back out with 30 seconds left. Holterhouse finds a way to catch that ball in traffic, and Held will get credit for the assist, although probably an ill-advised pass. Kelderman again against the full court pressure, gets it to Moorman. Moorman pestered from all over the place, eventually gets it to Denberger. 15 seconds left in the quarter and the first half. It's 38-17, all Pella in this half, but Oskaloosa's done some good things. Can they finish on a strong note? Into the paint, Moorman's pass, or Moorman tips the pass. Denberger slides in with 3 seconds left, gets the finish. Didn't look pretty, but it got done, and that'll be the end of the first half. So Oskaloosa does get a bucket, but they're being doubled up 38-19 at the half, as the Indians are going to be looking to try to just kind of clean that pressure up. If you take away the early going of that game when the full court press was tipping every possible pass, you really would think more often than not that Oskaloosa is competitive in this contest. The first 13 or 15 points were scored in the first 3 minutes, a lot on steals that had nothing to do with anyone but Holterhouse underneath. She has 5 steals, 3 of which came just intercepting the inbound right next to the hoop, and she was able to lay it in for 2. Either way, the halftime score is 38-19. We'll keep it here as we're going to have a performance from the Oskaloosa High School dance team, which is, of course, highly decorated. A lot of state championships, and it looks like we're going to get the co-ed dance team out here and see what their performance is like here during the halftime break. So stay locked in with us here on MCG as we'll take a listen in to what these young men and women have in store for us. performance there by one of the best in the state, one of the best dance programs in the state, Dance Dynamics here in Oskaloosa, as the co-ed dance performance getting plenty of cheers from the hometown crowd. We'll go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll give you halftime stats, get you set for the second half, as at the break it is Pella 38, Oskaloosa Girls 19 here on the No Coast Network.
Are your kitchen cabinets dated and dingy? Before you go through the mess and expense of installing new cabinets, consider letting Lake Painting of New Sharon give your existing cabinets a facelift. Our process and products provide a factory finish at a fraction of the price. Hi, I'm Alan Lake, and we would love to help you achieve the look of a new kitchen without the headache of renovation. Call us today at 641-637-8015 for a free estimate. That's 641-637-8015.
Hawkeye Real Estate is your one-stop source for everything real estate in Mahaska County and the surrounding area. Whether commercial, residential, or acreages, we've got you covered with the area's largest pool of real estate professionals, full-time support staff, and property management services. With over $19 million in sales volume for 2016, Hawkeye continues to be Oskaloosa's leading real estate office. Discover what thousands already know. When it's time to make a move, get the Hawkeye Edge.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83. Come on, you're up.
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Dreams start early, illustrated straight from the heart. Big or small, dreams take hard work to grow into reality. To bring your dreams to life, sometimes you need a little help. So surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams and count on Bank Iowa to help you reach them. Bank Iowa, for the dreamer in all of us.
Look at that mouth. That poor, parched mouth. What'd you eat for lunch? Chalk dust? Did your face storm a sandcastle? You're being awfully quiet. Is that because your mouth feels like the business end of a Dremel saw? Is it because your mouth just wrote a haiku and all 17 syllables were dry heaves? Right now, your mouth could be tongue bathing in the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Instead, it feels like you've been motorboating King Tut's sarcophagus. Show some mercy. Crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know your mouth wants you to. Do the do.
Main Street Oskaloosa is dedicated to giving our community the downtown they want and deserve. We bring vibrant community events like Art on the Square, Christmas in July, and the Lighted Christmas Parade to downtown Oskaloosa. We believe in the unique value of our district and work to support business here. Our city's history is important and it drives our efforts in the revitalization and preservation of downtown. In 2017, we received the Signature Project Award for our inspiring and innovative placemaking efforts. Our goal is a downtown Oskaloosa can be proud of. For more information, contact Emily Brown at 641-672-2591.
The teams are back out warming up for the second half, and I am pleased to be joined by one of my good friends, one of the best guys I know. One of the best football scouts and football talent evaluators I've ever seen. Oh, and he coaches a basketball team ranked #1 in the nation. It's John Henry, coach of the William Penn University men's basketball team. Coach, thanks so much for kicking it with me on a Tuesday night.
Hey, it's glad to be here. Nothing I wouldn't rather be doing.
Honestly, this first half was interesting for these girls. At 38-19, I know they're down 19, but it was 19-2 at one point. They were down 17 within 4 minutes of the game and did an unbelievable job of just kind of sticking with it, making some hustle plays, and we're seeing some offense from these girls.
Yeah, 19 points scored. I mean, you know, when you're challenged like we are offensively, you'll take it. And you know, we've made Pella work. Pella's getting better, and we're getting better tonight during this game because it is competitive. Like you said, it was 19-2, and the next thing you know, you look up and it's 30-16, and we had the ball. So I like what I'm seeing out there.
It's a lot of positives for me in that first half, and the only real negative is just ball security, especially against the full court pressure. I know Emily Holterhouse has go gadget arms, but you can't just be throwing it to her on the inbound and let her lay it in immediately after and giving her and one opportunities in the process. She had 19 first half points, but only scored 4 in the second quarter. Again, Coach Jared Garland did pull back the press quite a bit until the last 40 seconds in that second quarter, and we'll see what Pella comes out with, as Oskaloosa has played right with Pella since that first opening little just flurry of steals and lay-ins for Pella. But Oskaloosa offensively this season averages 25 points a game, and at the half against a Pella team that's been ranked most of the year, they have 19 points. That's a huge bonus. If you go in the locker room, girls, don't worry about the 38 right now for a second. Just look at what you're doing offensively to a good team. And that's something that Coach White can keep these girls plugged in, because they know they're not too far away. They're maybe a piece or two away, Coach, of finding a way to get themselves competitive on a more of a game-to-game basis instead of hoping every 3 or 4 games it's a team that they can compete with for a couple of quarters.
Right, and you mentioned it before, the press, Pella's press, and that's what we see every night. These girls see every night somebody presses them to start the game. They usually get a big lead and then they pull it off. Well, you saw that tonight when they pulled it off, we played them pretty much straight up. So I applaud Pella for taking it off and just going toe-to-toe with us when they know that they could probably press us and get this larger. I like the fact that Pella is probably trying to get better at something else, and it's actually going to give us confidence and get us better as well. So I like that.
There's a lot of different players that I like their skill sets. It's just a matter of trying to develop skill number 2, skill number 3, those toolboxes we talk about when you're trying to develop these players, and it's going to take a lot of off-season work. But I know for you, you're not a high school coach, you're a college coach, so it might be a little bit different. But I'm sure some of these girls, knowing they're in the midst of an over season at this point, they're seeing kind of the finish line at the horizon. There's a chance with as many games they've played the last 4 weeks that they might be mentally fried at this point. As a coach, how do you try to keep these girls plugged in for the last week?
And I helped you with the broadcast for the Newton game, and I'm going to repeat what I said then. I have been ultra impressed with this group of girls on, what are they, 0-18?
19 now.
0-19. Very few of these games have been under 30 points, and they seem to have the same attitude every night. They play hard till the very end. I don't see any talking back to the coaches or arguing amongst themselves, and that's what you would normally see in a situation like this. So I don't know if they're looking towards the horizon. I just know that they're still here, and a lot of lesser kids wouldn't be. There's a lot of quit today in sports when you're 0-19, and I don't see it in credit Coach White.
Yeah, absolutely, and her staff as Oskaloosa has the ball to start the second half, down 38-19. We appreciate you joining us here on 99.5 FM and AM 740 KMZN, radio KMZN.com, MCG Channel 7 with the live video stream, as well as the mobile app, KMZN mobile app, that is, as Megan Mormon starts the second half alongside Kelderman, Holmberg, Nelson, and Denberger, who's in the corner, guarded by Holterhouse. She's going to probe into the paint, kick it out to Holmberg. She'll lob it over to the left wing where Nelson has it. And then it's Denberger, passes it to to Mormon. She bounces it to Kelderman. Eventually top of the key. They're looking for Nelson on the cut, but it was tipped and eventually taken away. Chloe Van Vliet comes out of there with a steal. That is, by my count, the 21st Oskaloosa turnover. 20 turnovers in the first half is not good. There's a 6'1" arms of Emily Holterhouse, who lays it in for 21 points. That's an excellent look by Wickert. And there's a lot of assists in this game, too. Pella knows where to find the open cuts. That's something Oskaloosa also could improve on, is just accurate passes and know where the open player is.
Emily Holterhouse is a great athlete.
Well, I saw her in volleyball. It's not fair.
For being 6'1", she's really agile, long arms, and just has a nose and an IQ.
Reminds me of the Durr girl in Grinnell. It just seems they have a lot of just pure athleticism, and they both have pretty good basketball IQ as well. Although Emily, I think, would, as this ball knocked out of bounds, it'll stay with the Indians. I think Holterhouse.
Is she committed to UNI for volleyball?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, she is locked in to play D1 volleyball, and it's not fair. Watching her play volleyball is just, it's not. That should have been a kick ball by Chloe Van Vliet, who stuck her foot out and knocked that pass away. She's smiling, knows she got away with one there.
She kicked it, and then Lindsay caught it out of bounds, and they gave it to Pella. That's really bad, and he's standing right there.
Either way, it's 6.5 to go, third quarter. It's 40-19. A little bit of a slow start for both sides. The cross-court pass finds Wickert. She wants to go on the block to Holterhouse, working on Kelderman, but she traveled before she got rid of the pass. That's the 8th turnover for Pella. We talked about this. They were playing basically straight up with Pella when the press wasn't on. We'll see if the offensive execution, though, can continue, because there is a lot of length as Holterhouse, again, gets a hand on that ball. It should stay with Oskaloosa, and that's just... I mean, you can't teach that size. Now, Amanda Fay, who's coming into the game now for the Indians, and she'll be replacing Mormon, she's got a lot of length. She's pretty strong for as lanky as she is, and just a freshman. There's some things you could, toolbox-wise, add to her game as well.
I remember playing Oski Christian, and she was playing with them, and I was hoping that she would end up here, and she did. She's going to develop. She just needs some off-season work.
Nelson traps.
Our great strength and conditioning staff will work with her, too.
Well, I mean, I talked to Coach Jenkins, which, by the way, it's a plug for an interview, is there's a foul by Pella underneath, and this is going to be the third on Erica Bossard. First team foul on Pella. But Coach Jenkins, I asked him, how big of a deal is the fact that William Penn's strength and conditioning is helping you? And he's like, it's everything. I mean, that's how we're competitive. As there's going to be another foul. There's one on Held on the catch by Kelderman off the inbound. Second foul on Held, and the second team foul.
That's not just football. It's boys and girls across the board athletics. So it's good that we got that implemented. It took us a while.
Yeah, but better late than never, I suppose.
Yeah.
Top of the key.
It's making a big difference.
Well, and players like Faye, as well as like the Jillian Jennings, who already have kind of a muscular build, they're just going to get more defined as they continue to improve their skills. As Kelderman challenges Holterhouse, but does not win that one, as Holterhouse gets her 8th rebound off the miss off the glass. Cross court into the left corner. They kick it out to the top. Grace Held splashes in a 3 off a pass from Van Vliet. 5 points for Held. It's 43-19. Pella with the lead. 5.5 to go. Wickert knocks this pass away, and we're going the other way. It is Holterhouse, an easy lay-in on the run. She's got 23. I mean, at this point, Oskaloosa's got to come back to the basketball. Nobody's helping the ball handler, and Kelderman just has to throw it into traffic to avoid the long arms of Holterhouse. Knocked away and stolen by Bossard, her 4th steal, and then Emma commits the foul.
It's kind of a half-court trap. Looks like a 1-2-2 with Holterhouse in the middle.
Kelderman and Denberger come out. Kaylee Johnson and Ashley Drost, who gave you plenty of great moments in that first half, come into the game. Into the corner, Van Vliet, she's got that range. She thought about it and then takes the 2 and knocks it down.
What does she average on the season?
Van Vliet is a 12.5 points per game scorer.
She does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and last year, even as a junior, she was kind of an X factor for a really good basketball team. As Oski does get into the front court, Drost had an open Faye but couldn't quite find her. Out to the corner, Johnson to the top. Nelson catch and shoot, top of the key 3, nothing but net.
Good ball movement there. Good pass by Kaylee Johnson.
And then Pella throws it away, and it'll go back to Oskaloosa here on this end.
And there's another young lady, Kaylee Johnson. You mentioned Jennings and Faye. She's also a freshman too, so that strength and conditioning program. I want to also mention the strength and conditioning program is the same program for Pella as it is Oskaloosa too, both the William Penn strength staffs.
As we have a timeout on the floor, we'll take a quick break and come back with more after this. Pella leading 47-22 on the No Coast Network.
We love to help people with their smiles. Petrito Orthodontics of Ottumwa and Oskaloosa is all about creating beautiful smiles and increased self-esteem that lasts a lifetime. We specialize in creating individualized smiles by committing to make each visit a memorable experience. Our office is equipped with state-of-the-art technology to ensure optimum results. For help with your smile, call Petrito Orthodontics.
In the middle of the third quarter, it is Pella with a 47-22 lead. Pella kind of getting the game well under control at this point, but Oskaloosa still showing plenty of signs of life. Emery Songer alongside William Penn University men's basketball coach John Henry up here. Of course, we have the top-ranked Oskaloosa boys basketball team set to take on Pella in the second game. And, of course, in between the games, we'll be celebrating our seniors, and we'll be giving you all the information about them as well. But Oskaloosa girls, Kaylee Johnson, and the 5 counts on. Somebody's got to hurry up and inbound the ball here. Johnson will get it into Holmberg, as well as Denberger, Drost, and Nelson out there out of the timeout for Oskaloosa. There's another trap as they're running a half-court trap this time. Holmberg does a good job coming back to the ball and then gets it over to Johnson, swings it to Nelson, back to Johnson, into the paint, and Drost somehow kept her pivot foot down and then kicks it back out. Right wing, it's Denberger. Looking to try to do something, picked up the basketball. Into the corner is Nelson, not a good place to be, and then Holterhouse gets her hand on the ball and gets the steal. Ahead is Van Vliet. Oh, what a spin move. In the spin cycle, can't finish it, but the rebound is grabbed by Holterhouse and goes back up and in. How about that?
That was a great spin move. She's a great athlete.
Really under control, too. She's made a couple of bad passes here as Johnson too strong on this shot. Wickert the rebound. Halfway through the third, 49-22, Pella the lead. Wickert kicks it out. Holterhouse with that 6-foot-tall frame. She knows where the open player is at all times, but the shot was missed by Van Vliet. Weak side rebound, Holmberg. She wants to push. She goes around Held, fires it off the glass too strong. The rebound is still loose. Johnson comes out of there with the rebound. Can't get the roll.
Oh, in and out.
And the rebound, Holterhouse comes out of there. She's now got the double-double with 25 and 10. And then on the other end, Held, and that's Bossard. She missed the shot, knocked out of bounds by Holmberg. It'll stay with Pella. You see, Coach, all these hustle plays that Oski's making, and they just cannot pay it off with
just
points.
Would not go in. And great break by Holmberg, rebound by Johnson, but it just will not go in.
Weak side rebound again off the long miss. It's Wickert who's able to track it down and leave it for Held. 3:15 to go, third quarter. Into the corner, Van Vliet again left all alone. That's happening too frequently for Oskaloosa, and then Holterhouse on the offensive glass. It feels like in every game, specifically against these really good teams, that zone defense, somebody always gets caught out of position, and there always ends up an open three somewhere on the floor as Holmberg has it knocked away by Van Vliet off of her leg, and then goes back to Pella as Cook and Fay come in, replacing Holmberg and Drost. 51-22 with 3 minutes to go here in this third quarter. Pella really kind of starting to put it on Oskaloosa.
And Holterhouse is now up to 27 points and 11 rebounds?
Correct, with 6 steals, no less.
Wow.
So, I mean, triple-double watch could be on here. As nice little post-to-post action underneath. Rebound tipped out on the miss, though. Van Vliet too short. Gets it back, spins again, kicks it out. And they'll settle it down at the top. Here's Held, and they're just beating Oskaloosa on the boards now. The Indians have to refocus and try to clean up. As Holterhouse dives in, Oski got away with a trip there, and it'll end up being a steal for Marley Denberger.
I don't know how much longer you leave Holterhouse in.
I mean, in a game like this, probably not long. As Held comes on the weak side, is able to rip away a pass on a double team that Denberger never saw coming. Van Vliet can't handle the pass, collected by Wickert. They kick it out, they swing it, open, long two, Bossard missed, and Amanda Fay comes and grabs the board for Oskaloosa. That was some unselfish basketball by Pella after they couldn't pay off the lay-in.
They moved it 4 times there.
And then look at Held again. I mean, there's no stopping her, but they're going to call a foul on her underneath, or pardon, as she slid underneath. Mary Nelson trying to grab the steal as we get a couple of subs in. Held and Bossard come out, replaced by Bradley and Carney. By the way, that's the third foul on Held. Third team foul on Pella. 2 minutes left here in the third. 30-second timeout, Oskaloosa, 51-22. Coach White has a tough job. We know that. But development-wise, what have you seen from the girls at the beginning of the season to now?
I like what I'm seeing. I like that Marley's getting a little more aggressive to shoot the ball. I like, seeing Megan Mormon, Jillian Jennings, who you like a lot. I do too. Kaylee Johnson. A lot of young players getting a lot of time. And they're actually splitting time with the JV too, so they're getting a lot of ball in. Maybe a little more confidence at the JV level. Didn't get in with the varsity. And Coach White is doing a really good job of just rotating all these girls. There's nobody that's a standout.
Correct.
So just get them all a bunch of play. And then in the offseason, just get them in the gym and have them play and work on your skill set.
That's one thing that we're going to be seeing. There's only a few softball players amongst this group for Coach White, so it could be a very productive summer for her if she can get the girls into the gym. Johnson out of the timeout, kicks it out. Long three on the way, knocked down by Marley Denberger.
I was just going to say how we might have jinxed them because they had 19 at half, and they were only going to have 22, and then we hit 3. So
2 threes in the quarter, one for Mary Nelson and one for Marley Denberger. Marley, that's just the third make on a three-point attempt this season. Look at that pass. Just Van Vliet knew where Holterhouse would end up, and she was able to finish.
That's a set play for her to curl off the left side block there, and Van Vliet just knows if I throw it up high, she's going to be open right there.
It'd be nice to have one of those.
Well, they had a great, I don't know who set the screen. I think it was number 12.
Bradley,
a great screen as well to free her.
Here's another three for Denberger. This one just short.
I like her shooting that, though.
Absolutely. She's got the range as Holterhouse cleared the board.
And I don't care if she's 2 for 15. If you're open, shoot it. I mean, that's one of the best shots we're going to get.
Throw it away here as some subs come in. Well, and that's one thing that my theory is Oskaloosa has in this game, by my count, 27 turnovers. 20 happened in the first half. 10 of those happened in the first 3 minutes of the first quarter.
And you've heard me talk about it. With my teams or whatever team I'm coaching, you can't rebound a turnover. You can't score a turnover. So get the ball up there.
And especially for Oskaloosa, when that's an issue, whenever you get a clean look,
yes,
everybody should be thinking about trying to shoot the ball. As we have 45 seconds left in the third, 53-25, Pella with the lead. Denberger outside the arc, gets it to the elbow. This is Kelderman. She'll dribble it out. Emma back to the top of the key. Denberger faced up, thought about a shot over Neg, but decided against it. Now they're looking for Faye underneath. Kelderman drives, and then they're going to get a reach-in foul, I think, on Bradley, who crashed in. Pella's defense, they are daring you to try to find the open player when they send that second person, and Oskaloosa just has a hard time of finding the open player.
Yeah, that's just, they'll move it around a couple of times, and we usually get a dead ball.
Holmberg able to get it in, catch and shoot from the right corner. Nelson too short. Bradley able to secure the rebound. Bradley's older sister, Kiara Bradley, was one of the best players in Little Hawkeye the last couple of years, but graduated as part of the class of 2017. Caroline trying to develop, wearing the exact same number her sister wore. Back to the top is Grace Held for Pella with just 10 seconds left in the quarter. They're setting up for a final shot here, leading 53-25. Here, left wing, firing it up there is Carney. The long rebound taken by Holmberg initially, and then they're going to call a jump ball to stay with Pella with 1.2 seconds left. I don't know if that three by Carney was what they had in mind. With the jump ball, it'll stay down here, and it will be Wickert, the senior, to try to get something going here. It'll have to be a catch and shoot for the Dutch. And it's a lob pass out by the volleyball line, and it was nearly in by Held, but I don't think it would have counted either way. Anyway, it is 53-25, 3 quarters of play in the books. We have one more on the way after a short break here on the No Coast Network.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
Swim Sports is once again open in Oskaloosa. This is Doug DeCock, the new owner of Swims. Along with Doug Swim, we are happy to be open again. Swims has a wide variety of trophies, plaques, and engraving available to Oskaloosa and the surrounding areas. We have an assortment of uniforms, socks, and belts, along with other sporting goods at the store. Swim Sports also provides a full screen printing facility for your screen printing needs. Come check out the new store at 118 A Avenue East in Oskaloosa. The two Dougs would love to see you at Swim Sports.
We head to the fourth quarter. It is Pella 53, Oskaloosa 25. We thank you for joining us. Emery Songer, Coach Don Henry up here in the box. The crow's nest, if you will, as the Indians have the ball to start the fourth, down 53-25. It's Nelson, Kelderman, Holmberg, Faye, and Denberger out there for the Indians to start this fourth quarter. Here's Nelson out in the left wing. She lobs it, looking for Faye. The pass just wasn't high enough. Kelderman saves the possession for the Indians, though. Nowhere to go. Somebody's got to help her out. She tries to find Faye, eventually does, but look at Bradley all over the place, able to get the steal and then draw the foul. That's exactly the kind of play that Kiara would have had, and you can tell that this Pella bloodline, some of these players with the older siblings, we talked about Donovan Holterhouse and his ability as a basketball player. He graduated, but we see Emily. Yeah. I mean, it just breeds itself when you have so many people as part of a family, and the fact that these guys are always playing together from their third grade year all the way up.
All that, and most of their parents played, to be honest with you.
Whatever they're doing is working. Oskaloosa looking to try to get some more defensive stops and try to generate more offense. They scored 19 first half points, just 6 points on 2 threes in that third quarter. Madison Neg, the freshman, working on fellow freshman Amanda Faye, and Neg throws it away, but they're going to say it bounced off Denberger's leg. It'll stay down here with the Dutch.
Madison Neg is a freshman, huh?
Yep. 5'9" freshman. We saw a great freshman in Bryn Moritz for Norwalk on Friday as well. She stands 6 foot tall as a freshman. Here's Held. Somehow kicks it out, finds Bossard, thought about the shot, drives to the right, pulls up from 8, and hits. That's a nice shot to have in the back pocket before you get to the shot blockers. And the lead is a game-high 30 here for the Lady Dutch at 55-25. Denberger working to the right. They're doubling up Faye so that she can't get a look. Here's a 3 from Nelson, missed. Holmberg, the offensive board, tough shot off glass, missed, but Faye gets the rebound, too strong. And then Kelderman gets the rebound. She goes up and is fouled.
That's just like what you mentioned before when Holmberg went to the basket and missed in layup, and then Kaylee Johnson couldn't get it going either. The effort is there. The effort really is there. It's just the ball's not just not going in.
It'll be 2 free throws for Emma Kelderman, who this season is 50% at the line. The interesting story of her not going out for 2 full years and then coming back as she makes the first here for her first point of the game. Megan Mormon comes in and will replace Holmberg. But I've seen a lot of improvement on her already, and she's been trusted to handle the ball against the press. She's learning what passes she can make and what not to make. I feel like accuracy with passes is going to do wonders for this team in the future as well once they learn what passes to do when. It makes it easier to find the open player when you can throw some people open. Second one from Kelderman. Can't quite get the roll as it hit the rim twice. Rebound pulled down by Bossert, and quickly in the front court is Van Vliet. Van Vliet lost it. It's just slipped out of her hand. It looked like to me, but they're going to say it's Pella ball. Nelson must have got a piece of it. Nig gets it in. Van Vliet out by the volleyball line. Surveys what the Pella offense has. And it looks like Van Vliet's just going to go one-on-one, kick it over to Carney. Back to Van Vliet. She's going to bounce it into the short corner. Nice pump fake and floater by Bradley missed. The rebound was tipped by Faye. Kelderman was battling for it, but it'll be a jump ball as Carney dropped down and went after it as well. The possession arrow gives it back to Pella after Oskaloosa started the quarter with the ball.
You do a lot more of these games than I do. Is there a high number of jump balls in high school girls basketball?
In the games I've seen this year, there's an abnormally large amount. There's a long 2 by Bossard.
I feel like there's a lot.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with just there's so many 50-50 balls, because ball control isn't just a problem for Oskaloosa. It's a trouble for a lot of people, and it just feels like all the girls kind of get to the ball at the same time. And the game's slow enough to where everybody can kind of rally to the ball. Either way, it's Mormon to the elbow. Nice dribble drive by Kelderman. Her shot is blocked, however, out of bounds. It'll stay here as Bradley will get credit for the block.
It's a good pass by Mormon. And a good aggressive take by Kelderman. Is our lack of size there.
I like the move, though. Just trying to go to the rim and see what happens as they lob it in. Nice one-hand catch by Marley. She'll go to the right, go all the way to the rim and lay it in.
See, there you go.
High percentage shot there, and Marley does have the touch around the rim to get those kind of shots to fall. Kick out. Holterhouse wants a piece of 3 and misses it short, but beats everybody to the rebound and shuffles it over. And it's going to be a 3 for Bossard, who collects the double figures. She's got 11.
She's got 7 here in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, she has come to life as they look for Faye underneath. Bradley all over her, and Faye forced to airball the shot. Carney comes up with the rebound. Van Vliet hustles into the front court, gets by Mormon, and gets the lay-in. Difference between Oskaloosa and Pella is when they get to the rim, Oski has one girl in Denberger who's really adept at finishing, whereas almost everybody on the floor for Pella can finish inside. They're going to be a jump ball as Denberger has it nearly taken away by Bradley again, and the jump will keep it here with the Indians. Johnson and Drosten replacing Faye and Kelderman. 5 minutes to go here in regulation, 62-28, Pella the lead. It's Mormon to trigger on the end line. Gets it in, Denberger. Shot was blocked by Van Vliet, and coming out of there with it again is Holterhouse. The starter still out there for Pella right now. And then this is going to be a steal for Nelson, but again, a lazy pass against some pressure from Pella. Holterhouse was able to force a bad pass, and Denberger had a kick off her leg out of bounds. Inbound pass finds Carney on a cut. She's short on the shot, able to get the offensive board and then go back up and get her first bucket of the game.
Good strength.
I mean, that's a girl that's 5'7" that just went really hard after her own miss and was able to get the finish on the second try as Drost throws it up, can't get the shot to go. Her and Bradley are battling, and Bradley ends up committing a foul. That'll be the 6th team foul. 7 rebounds off the bench for Ashley Drost. That's another player that you know for a fact is always going to be giving you all those hustle plays, and she's going to be on the floor, diving everywhere, trying to pick up the loose balls.
Yeah, I think we just need to add some strength in the offseason. Obviously, we need to work on our skill set, but a lot of it is strength.
Running clock is in effect as it's now a 36-point advantage. And there's Kaylee Johnson, who has it nearly taken away by Madison Negg, but then it goes off her leg, out of bounds, and By my count, that's 30 turnovers in the game, which, by the way, is a low number considering the fact that we started the game with 10 turnovers in the first 4 minutes. I mean, it's obviously not a low number, but it's a low number considering how the first 4 minutes of the game went. Let's just say it that way.
I'm just leaving it alone.
All right.
Anytime you tell me the team I'm rooting for has 30 turnovers, I don't know what to say.
Well, and that's my count. Obviously, it could be different in the official stats. Into the game for the first time is junior Sydney Van Vark for Pella. Also into the game for the first time, Elsie Thorson. She is a sophomore.
Like we said at halftime, though, concentrate on the number that you're putting up. We have 28 points right now. You said we were averaging 25?
Yep. As here's a 3-ball knocked down by Sydney Van Vark. Just entered the game. Thorson will get the assist. Everybody going to get in the stat sheet here for Pella. 67-28. The second half's been a little rough as Jennings faces up, knocks it down. She can do that every time, honestly.
We've scored 30 points, which is 5 over average, and we have 30 turnovers. So you cut that number down a little bit, I mean, that's a big deal.
40, 45? I mean, that's double what you're averaging now almost. As Pella with the basketball. Jillian Jennings, that mid-range jump shot, I feel could be there every time. That's just my opinion. I haven't seen her nearly enough. As timeout's going to be called by Pella as they just want to be able to get some substitutions in the game. So the end of the bench is in, including junior Chloe Griffin in for the first time. Madison Negg, the freshman, stays in there. And the mystery player of the day, Courtney Thompson, a guard who enters for the first time.
What number?
52.
Okay.
And she commits a turnover as a pass through Madison Negg's hands right into the arms of the awaiting Marley Denberger. I have 13 turnovers for Pella. So they've done a good job. Nice catch by Jennings in the paint. She's fouled.
Good pass by Marley, too.
Absolutely. Hands are a big deal for Oskaloosa. Yep. Amanda Faye tries to develop those hands like Marley, like Jillian, in traffic, try to win balls, whether it's passes or the rebounds. As Jennings' first free throw just off the back iron. Jillian's one of those players that really could fill this Oskaloosa team out as she develops, while Coach J.C. White tries to continue to develop her backcourt. As look at that rebound by Denberger with one arm, able to get it back up and in after the miss. How about that?
She's got 14.
To go along with 4 boards. Outside the arc here are the Lady Dutch. Here's Thompson. Thompson over to the left wing, and Negg doesn't want any part of the three-pointer. Right wing, a 3 will be launched this time by Griffin, and that's a miss. Rebound by the senior Kinsey Cook. Cook wants to bring it up the floor. Picks up the dribble, kicks it out. Nelson catch and shoot. In rhythm, misses. Denberger was actually cut off from grabbing the rebound by her own teammate. Moorman kind of ran into her accidentally.
Yeah, but you like to see all 3 of them rebounding.
Got a foul away from the ball here.
You can never be mad at that.
Absolutely not.
It's just coincidental. And I really like the way Megan Moreland hustles.
I think her softball experience of being a catcher, I don't know many catchers that aren't really hard workers. Yeah. You know what I mean? And really cerebral.
Tough kids.
And she's going to be the everyday catcher this year, and she's going to get beat up. She's going to be wore out, but that's what you see here as well. She doesn't know anything else. A couple of subs will get to him in a second for Oskaloosa as a kick out and a 3 on the way. Van Vark, wow. That's her second 3. That's a step back 3. As Brooke Allen into the game, as well as Ashley Smith and Ellie Henry for Oskaloosa. With under a minute to play here in the fourth quarter, it's 70-32. The Indians trailing, but 32 points. That is a solid performance as Allen tries to force it in 3 players. It's going to be a steal for Thorson. And Vark to Negg. Negg goes baseline and passes it to the middle to Thompson, but the ball is loose. It'll be a jump ball. The clock continues to run under 30 seconds. It stays with Pella. Van Vark comes out, replaced by Chloe Griffin.
Who's number 20 for Oskaloosa?
Ellie Henry.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Oh, I said her. I said.
I can't believe she's actually playing. I love it.
Negg goes around Jennings, and they're going to call her for a charge as she runs over Allen, who did a good job of holding her ground.
Holding her ground.
That's going to be the end of the game as the running clock allows the buzzer to buzz there. Final score, Pella 70, Oskaloosa 32, but plenty of positives, at least from my vantage point, of the Oskaloosa Indians. And Coach, I know for you, it's hard to be patient for Coach White and her staff. It's hard to be patient for the girls, but we have seen plenty of growth from these girls all season long.
And nobody in this gym right now with maroon white on is criticizing Coach White or even the girls. I think everybody, like what I said, is they really are trying, and they are getting better. But it's going to be a long process, and I think we got the right person in charge. And like you've said many times, there will be years down the road where we will remember this time when Oskaloosa girls basketball is a little more competitive. But I commend them. I don't think that anybody's quit. And as a young person 100 years ago, if I was 0-19, I don't know as if I would have as good an attitude as they do. So I think it's great. Having a daughter on the team, talk to her every night. I said, what's the attitude like? Do you want to quit or what's going on? And no, we got practice again tomorrow. Let's go. And I just think that's great.
I really like the overall vibe that we're getting from the program as a whole from Coach White as well. I know she wants to see her team really continue their development, but at the same time, you know that this isn't going to be an easy process. And like we talked about, North Mahaska 2 years ago, and I know 1A and 4A are different, but North Mahaska 2 years ago went 3-22.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they are at this point?
Undefeated.
They are 20-0.
Yep.
2 years removed.
I think the word that comes to mind for me is realistic when I talk about Coach White. I think that, she could be going crazy and yelling and screaming, but you got to be realistic. Have some fun with these girls. Try to develop them. Don't run them into the ground and kill them because they're not winning. Love on them, coach them up, do the best you can, and wait for the development to happen.
All right, let's get to the seniors real quick here. Aisha Armstrong is the first one that you saw right there. Parents are Wendy and Greg Tweedy. Getting ready for the Lofts together before home games is her favorite memory, and she has an undecided major for her future. Audrey Chambers is right there. She walks the center circle. Her parents are Steve and Michelle Chambers. Her favorite memory is watching the girls try to stunt with Vinny as a flyer. Future plans going to DMAC, getting her dental assistant and dental hygiene degree. She's also a state champion soloist for color guard with my wife as her coach, by the way. Just got to throw that in there. Noah Hoffman, parents Brett and Amanda Hoffman. Their favorite memory is riding Shaq and going to Sonic twice in less than 8 hours. I love Sonic. That's a good place. His future plans are to play soccer somewhere, undecided, and major in education. And finally, Big Vin himself, Vincent Ramirez, his parents Ray and Raquel Ramirez. Favorite memory, telling the opposite team's cheerleaders a fake name when his real name is on the back of his T-shirt. And his future plans are to go to college, not sure where yet, for business management. He wants to open up a gym, pursue his dream job as a CrossFit gym owner and coach. Kid's pretty good at CrossFit as well.
Yeah,
so
just a little bit.
We'll talk about him, but Kinsey Cook, the lone senior for the Oskaloosa girls basketball team. She's the daughter of Shay and Chris Cook, my mistake. Her favorite basketball memory is talking to Ashley D. and Brooke during warm-ups every day. And Coach Reef swatting Soraya the junior year and yelling, "Catch me outside." How about that? How many times have you said that?
I can't say as though I have.
Her future plans is to attend Indian Hills. She'll play soccer for 2 years, transfer to a 4-year university and major in chemistry. She is an outstanding athlete and an outstanding musician as well. So excellent work from Kinsey Cook. And now we get to the boys basketball team and the seniors, and you're seeing there Tanner DeCock. He is the son of Doug and Sharon DeCock. Tanner is a 4-year starter for the Indians and has played a crucial role in turning the program around, as well as leading the nation in charges taken. Tanner's favorite basketball memory is by beating Norwalk by 35 at home earlier this year, and the suburban rides with Coach Howard. His future plans are to attend Simpson College in the fall, study business management and secondary education. Nick Harrington is the son of Richard Harrington and Jennifer Paxton. Nick's favorite basketball memory is after almost every game, he'll get a group picture of his friend group. His future plans are to go into dental school, and he wants to play college baseball, and he will be successful in that endeavor, I predict. Jared Cruz is the son of Jim and Shelly Cruz. Jared as well has been a part of this program's turnaround. He scored 824 points going into tonight's action. His favorite basketball memory is winning the district his junior year. His future plans are to play basketball at a 4-year college. We're still anxiously awaiting where. as Jared gets a nice hug from Coach Parker and a handshake for Father Jim. Here comes Tucker Nunnekoven. Tucker is the son of Kevin and Amy Nunnekoven. Tucker is a 3-year varsity player and is oftentimes known as a defensive stopper. Tucker's favorite basketball memory is beating Norwalk at home earlier this year and going to the Texas Roadhouse after weekend games. Tucker currently undecided on his future plans, but I do know that this summer is going to be big for him, as he's told me his goal is to hit 400 for the Indian baseball team. Here's Nick Ryder. He is the son of Russ and Debbie Ryder. Nick has been a 4-year manager for the Indians, and Coach Brian Parker says we would be completely lost without him, and we have no idea how we'll replace him next year. Nick's favorite basketball memory is hanging out with the team, going to the Iowa game his junior year, hanging out at practice, and actually having a practice a few times over the last couple of years. He likes stress, and he likes to practice against the team. His future plans are to attend either Iowa State or Loras and major in business or sports management. That is Nick Ryder. Good kid, too. He's also one of the hosts of the Indian Power Hour, as heard every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. on 99.5 FM and AM 740 KMZN. Here's Kyle Shalaw. Kyle is the son of Douglas and Christian Shalaw. Kyle's favorite basketball memory is rap battles on the bus. His future plans are to run track, cross country, in college. He wants to go to med school and work with anesthesia. That's Kyle Shalaw. As, of course, senior night here. Our last senior is Spencer Tucker. Spencer is the son of Steve and Lisa Tucker. Spencer is a 3-year starter for the Indians, and he has played a huge role in turning around the program. He's known for his 3-point shooting, and he currently has a career 44% mark, going 149 for 340 from beyond the arc. Spencer's favorite basketball memory is the UNI team camp and hanging out at the hotel. His future plans are to play college golf, but is undecided where, and the kid will be good at that as well. As Coach Parker, handshakes and hugs for the Tucker family, but I don't think it stops there.
I want to talk about Nick Ryder really quick. Having had experience coaching basketball, student coaches, student managers, or whatever it is that you want to call them, people like that are just so invaluable.
Just real quick, Coach, we'll get back to that. This is also, in a sense, Steve and Lisa Tucker's senior night. Steve and Lisa both graduated from Oski High back in the 70s. They've been attending their kids' high school athletic events since Stephanie started volleyball in '95. Their first senior night occurred in 1998 before Spencer was even born, and between their 3 girls, Stephanie, Megan, and Laura's volleyball games, and their 5 boys, Grant, Alex, Mitchell, Clay, and Spencer's basketball games, they spent over 225 nights here in the balcony of this gym, and that doesn't include all the time they spent outside watching the kids while they played baseball, tennis, and golf. They've dedicated countless hours of traveling to tournaments and games and somehow didn't miss one. Next year will be weird for the entire Oskaloosa family or for the entire Tucker family, rather, to not attend games, but we know the Tuckers are looking forward to more time with the grandkids. So thank you, Tuckers, from the Oskaloosa High School and all of us for your dedication and support of Oskaloosa athletics as all the kids came back to surprise the parents here. But what a family.
That's
and
impressive.
What a heritage. That's crazy. They first started coming to the games here in this gym back before Spencer was even born.
Their first senior night was before he was born.
That's awesome.
That's a lot of years of being pregnant.
Not that we would ever know. Either way, but that's awesome to see the Tuckers. It would be awesome to see Spencer have a nice game tonight to try to round that out. Of course, Oskaloosa's boys not only will play tonight, but they'll have another home game against Sheraton in non-conference action coming up next Tuesday. But, of course, this is the big celebration, and it's great to see the Tuckers get recognized as a part of tonight's senior night festivities. But in speaking about Nick Ryder and what he's done, he did the same thing for the football team. He's absolutely been a vital piece. I had a chance when he was just a sophomore. He did a job shadow with me at the radio station. Good kid, great kid, really intelligent kid as well. And those are the kind of kids that are so far behind the scenes that some people in the community kind of forget about a little bit. But it's great that he got recognized here, because those are the kind of kids that make these programs work.
There's a large percentage of the time that guys like that are more important than the players. I know myself, Dylan Detlewiler, people like that. I've had a ton of them over there. Brennan Gerst, guys like that. In my program, too, is a coach. You find a kid like that, and it's a special time. You hate to see him go.
Well, good thing Mr. Dylan Detweiler is still part of your program.
This has been Oskaloosa Indians basketball action on the No Coast Network.
Brought to you by Mahaska, Bank Iowa, Cloud Valve Company, Kelly Style Insurance, Oskaloosa Area Chamber, Petrito Orthodontics, Hawkeye Real Estate, Swim Sports, Awards and Screen Printing, Raymond James Financial Services, William Penn University, Fairway, Kinetic Edge Physical Therapy, Roxburt's Decorating Center, Pella Printing, Penn Central Mall, Oskaloosa Vision Center, Robert Auld Investments, and Mahaska Drug.
This has been a presentation of the No Coast Network.